Wizard101 just explained their new system called Spell Fusion, and in this video I'm going to explain to you the pros and cons of it and how it will work within Wizard101. Before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to keep up with the Wizard101 test room content, and let's get started. So Spell Fusion is kind of going hand in hand with School Weaving. I already explained what the basis of Spell Fusion is. You can click on the video up here, but they gave a more detailed explanation on these spells and how it will operate. So since some of these trees will be giving some of the spells, you will need some of the prior spells to unlock and weave some together. Example would be the Grimzilla spell. To make Grimzilla, you need to have Ghoul and you need to have Stormzilla together. You need to have both of those trained. Now, Spell Fusion have a couple things with it, such as the rules and the formulas. First, let me go over the rules. Now, the first rule is you just need kind of 2 plain cards or an item card to fuse together. An example would be like a Ghoul. If the Ghoul was an item card from your pet, you can use that to fuse with the Stormzilla. But it can't be like a TC Ghoul or TC Stormzilla. You can't fuse those together. So there have to be either item cards, which specifically says that spell name and nothing crazy like Sparking Stormzilla or anything wild like that, or Avenging Ghoul or whatever. It kind of got to be like the base form. So the next rule is that basically you can pick any one that you want first. It's not any specific order in the sense of you picking a Stormzilla first, then Ghoul, or Ghoul, then Stormzilla. It really don't matter. But you need to learn the formula. Now, to get this formula, you need to learn it from the new trees that's coming out. The new trees in the new area from Krokotopia, and apparently some Ravenwood trees will know it as well. So you will have to revisit these trees, or you'll probably get a message from them talking about School Weaving. So you get to go there and learn them, and you get to see the requirements for them. They're kind of like a crafting system, as I explained in the other video, where you will need those 2 spells first to fuse them together. So like you need the Ghoul and Stormzilla. Now, this might be a little bit of annoyance to y'all that only certain schools can learn certain spells. An example would be that Grimzilla will only be able to be learned by Storm Wizards only. This is because of the whole system they're developing, and they're probably going to try to tie it into the storyline. This whole system goes off of taking your primary spell, which is Stormzilla, and morphing it with a death spell, which is Ghoul. Stormzilla is mainly primary to Storm Wizards. That's your main base. Now you're enhancing that and morphing it with the mixture of the Ghoul. You're sprinkling in the Ghoul death magic into the Stormzilla, if that makes sense. So that's why it's kind of Storm based only and kind of just set for Storm. And the death spell will be something totally different when they're mixing something that's death main with Storm magic. Now, I really don't mind this too much personally. I know it could be a little upsetting for some people, but I'm gonna see how it works, and hopefully it gets changed if it is a major issue. Now, you can technically make as many Grimzillas you want. You're just gonna need the reagents for them in a sense of the spells. So you're gonna need like 10 Ghouls and 10 Stormzillas to make 5 Grimzillas. They also showed off a whole bunch of other spells I'm gonna put onto the screen on what they look like and the requirements for those spells. They have such spells as like Sand Troll. They got Lighting Locust, what I think looks beautiful. They got Evil Magma Man and a bunch more. If you notice, the utilities of these spells are pretty interesting. They kind of borrowed the utilities from each spell and combined them together, which is really cool. And they said even if you don't want to use the utility of it, they want the damage to suffice on you using it. Now, some people might have an issue with using this in PvE. Like, some people might think this is just extra and they don't really need to. I will say I think this is a fun way to play and it won't get boring. Now, some people think it's very repetitive and you just using buff hit, and that's because you're carrying 7-hand decks. Now, I think this will be fun and it'll help you step out your comfort zone by trying to mix these spells together and use them in combat. And they also gave out the total number of spells. In the sense of world spells, top and bottom path is 14, world fusion formulas are 14, weaving spells non-fusion are 42, weaving fusion formulas are 42, new auras being 5, new band replacement spells are 6, and new spellman paths are 8. So they have a grand total of 131 new spells added to Wiz when this update goes through. I think that's an amazing number, and I can't wait to see these spells be used in action in Test Room. Hopefully Test Room comes out next week. Let me know if you're excited for Test Room down in the comment section below, and also make sure you like and subscribe and tap the notification bell to keep up with all the new Test Room updates. I'm excited for this to come out, and I will be covering all the news I can. So I hope you guys are excited, and I'll see you later in the next video. Peace.